right, now let's get on with the main event today. And to introduce our very distinguished guest speaker, here is Terry Cavanaugh. Terry.
Thank you, Skip. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about who Martha is as a person, because we all know who she is as this wonderful human being and philanthropist. She is now the president of Vamos Mexico. She's the wife of the former President Vicente Fox. During the pandemic, during the 4 months before the pandemic, CRISMA had to close, and they had very few patients. Many of the children had to stay at home, and we saw a decline in their progress because these are children and adults who need rehabilitation on a frequent basis. But they're back and they're open, and that's why we're here today. Martha Fox is a mother of 3 sons, has played a prominent role in the development of policies to optimize resources for business administration, human resources, and women's participation in business, creativity in business, and excellence in market administration. As part of her interest in continuous training and education, Marta de Fox has taken part in several Congress on politics and administration, municipal public administration, and women's political development. She has also published various articles in the national press. She taught at the University of La Salista, Benavente, where she taught English after studying English in Dublin, Ireland. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my friend, Senora Martha Fox.
Terry, you are very kind. I'm really happy to be here. Terry, thank you very much for this fantastic invitation. Maybe I have to start studying English again because I was in Ireland when I was only 14, many years ago. But well, let me tell you that I feel very close to you, all the Rotary Club, because since I was very young, I used to be a volunteer in different places. Maybe a few of you know the city of Celaya, which is nearby here. I was living there for 30 years. I was born in Zamora, Michoacán, a beautiful state that maybe you have visited someday. If not, you have to do it because Michoacán is a beautiful, beautiful state. Well, when I was living in Celaya, my volunteer job was with the Rotary Club. We used to the very poor communities to teach the people whatever they needed because they have a great necessities of having soft skills or even cooking or whatever to be able to raise their children. So for me, the Rotary Club is very near to us. I have a very special love for you. We identify, and when I say we, because it happens the same to Vicente, when he was president, we used to go to the Rotary invitations every year, maybe twice a year, and we were named honorary Rotaries.
Oh,
so I have my button. I'm sorry I don't have it today. And we identify with you because you are a very friendly community. You are a philanthropic community. You are always looking for the good of others. You take care of the people. You have compassion. You have empathy. And those are also our values. So I'm really happy to be able to share this morning with you And to let you know what we do, when we left, well, before that, as Terry was telling you, part of my life had to do with business, and part of my life had to do with politics. In the city of Celaya, where I was living for 30 years, when I raised my 3 sons, now I am a grandmother of 10 beautiful grandchildren from 21 to 2 years, so different ages. That's fun, believe me, it's great. So I wanted to become the mayor of the city, and I lost. And when I lost, I was very lucky because my life completely changed. I like politics, the good politics, because I really believe that when you do it with your heart, and it's really your mission, is the open, wide door for many facilities to do the best for the people. And when I lost, Vicente invited me to join him in his campaign. Remember that he was governor of the state of Guanajuato. So I started to work with him in the communication and PR area. It was just a fantastic experience. And when he decided to become the candidate for the presidency, I went with him to run and to lead his campaign. It was really a fantastic experience, not because exactly for the politics. It's because we were so near to the people. It's because we visited all the places in our country, from the north to the south, from the big cities to the very, very small and pure communities. And then you understand that there is people waiting for you, that they have hope, that they need a friendly hand, that they really need very committed people for doing the best for everybody, not to construct buildings, not to have a beautiful places to go. Is how to improve the quality of life of the people. That is what it really means, to improve the quality of the people. So when Vicente was president, we had 3 very important days. Vicente was born on the day 2nd of July. He's going to be 80, the 2nd of July. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And we won the presidency on the 2nd of July, year 2000. And we got married on the 2nd of July, year 2001, when he was already president. And I was the Speaker of the House. And I was also working as the Minister of the Communication area. But you know, the system in Mexico do not allow the wife to work in any political, well, I don't know now, but then in any political responsibility. So then I decided to found Vamos Mexico Foundation. And it was just part of my life, because since I was very young, even a kid, even a girl, even a child, I was used to go in my hometown to work also in an orphanage. My father was a doctor, and I have very clear an advice on the wall of his office that it said, if you want to see the doctor, you have to pay 5 cents. But if you don't have it, don't worry. Anyway, the doctor is going to take care of you. And it means generosity. And it's really what you learn, the values from home. And those values has to be reflected and continued in your own life with the different that you join, with the people that you join, with the group of you look to be near, like you, Rotary. So in the year 2001, Vamos Mexico Foundation started. with three very important lines: health, education, and human development. So when the administration was finished, we came back home, the only home that we have, and that is your home, in the Rancho San Cristobal, very near Leon, a beautiful place. We really want you to come and visit us. Terry is going to take care of that. And we continue working with the foundation exactly in the three main lines. But now, our most important program is what you have here in San Miguel de Allende, CRISMA. This is a rehabilitation center. I'm sure many of you met Luchita. Luchita. Yeah. She had this place, Sencre. But when she was, I don't know, maybe 87 or 90, she didn't want to continue with the foundation because well, she had not a very strong board or whatever. And you know, the law in Mexico says that when you are going to finish with your NGO, there are two ways: to give back to the government whatever you have. It doesn't matter what it is, a house or whatever, or to find another NGO to take care of what you want to finish. So Luchita went to look for us. Of course, she knew where we were, and she invited us to come and visit center. When she was there, I was kind of scared, miedosa, because we have now 13, and then also 13 different social programs to take care of. And I said, oh my God, we are so busy. San Miguel is near, but it's 1.5 hours anyway. And it's going to be difficult. Maybe I'm going to say, no, thank you. And I have to tell you the truth. When I came to visit also with Vicente, in my mind was to say, no, I am very busy. But once we were there with only 22 children, because they had capacity for 200, but they were only 22. The poor of the poor, in terrible conditions. Well, my heart shouted, yes, you have to take care of this place. So we decided to take care of that and to become CRISMA, Center of Rehabilitation of San Miguel de Allende. We started in that place in Zamora Street. Maybe you know the place. And now we have a beautiful facility on the way from here, from San Miguel to Querétaro. The municipality donated to the foundation 2 hectares. 2 hectares, I don't know how many acres, whatever, 5 acres. And we raised funds to be able to construct. I have to say that you American people are very generous, very, very generous, because most of the money, we got it in the United States. We got it also from the very important businessmen in Mexico. Most was through the 501c3 that we have in the United States. So now we have a great facility that we opened on November 2019. Yeah. And then on March, the pandemic came and we had to close. We had already, by then, 320 children, patients, and we had to send them home. We had the possibility to attend just a few, because as much as we could, we went to their homes to make the therapy for them. But it was very hard because they are all spread around, all in different communities, even far away, even in a different towns, Common Fort, Dolores Hidalgo. So it was really difficult. But thank God, last October, we opened again, and now we have more than 300 patients, children, and also it's the only rehabilitation center that takes care of adult people. We have really the best of the best, and we have a big heart to attend any that comes to knock our door. And also, we want you to communicate that we are here, that we exist, because we have place for more than 500, and we have only 320. So our goal this year is to attend 500. Our focus is the poor people. You know, there are so many poor communities and small towns all around, and even in the big cities, people from Celaya, from Querétaro, because if they have money, they pay just a little bit according to a social study that we make to them. Maybe what they pay more is 20 or 30 pesos, a little bit more than $1. But the instruction is, if they don't have a cent, they don't have to pay. Because it is very sad that many of our children do not come as many times as they should come, because the parents have not the money to pay the bus. That is really terrible. To have a special person is a tragedy for a family. It seems to be a tragedy. It shouldn't be, but it is just like that. Imagine a poverty that they have 3, 5, even 6 children, and one of them is sick with any kind of disability, and father and mother have to go to work, and they don't know what to do. Well, they bring the other to the school, but they don't know what to do with the sick person. There are many terrible histories that we have found. Children alone in their houses, amarrados, tied. Yeah, because that's the only way they can keep it. So we need your help. Let people to know, through all your NGOs, through all your friends, through all the people that you can give the message that CRISMA is a place that is waiting for the people that has the necessity of any therapy. And if they do not have money, it doesn't matter. We are going to take care of them. And for those who have the capacity to pay, give us a support to, if they pay a little, they give us a hand. For those who cannot pay nothing. So it's great being here. San Miguel Allende is a great town. It's like a magic town. You are a great community. San Miguel is a great community. And maybe the reason is because there are many American people and Canadian and from all over the world living here. And it makes the difference because your mind is completely different. And to meet people as you are, is really a blessing to keep going and to support this cause that will never have to close. We are here to stay and to stay forever. Now, Terry is part of our board. Thank you very much, Terry. We have a strong board. We are looking for a very strong endowment. We are going in the right way. We are going to get the goal. We are going to get it. And that is going to make for us to assure us that CRISMA is going to stay even when Vicente and I passed away. CRISMA is going to be there to help these children and families. And just to say that we have another foundation. Well, we have many different programs. One of them is wheelchairs. We give 800 wheelchairs every year. And also thanks to the Rotary Club, you help us in to cross the border to import the chairs. You help us a lot. We have training NGOs, we have a nutrition program, we have a leadership program, we have many programs of soft skills, of formal education. And there is also another foundation, Centro Fox Foundation, which is the main issue is about leadership and education. We have a school of music, 180 children studying music with us. They don't pay a cent. They come every day to Centro Fox from 4 to 7 to study music, and through music, of human development, because we also take care of the parents. They have to come every month for different kind of activities to get involved with their children and to grow with them, not only the children, to grow also with the whole community, the children, the parents, and the teachers. And we have a beautiful program that I hope you can do it when you can go. President for a Day. It is a program also of 6 hours, but for you it's going to be shorter. It's only one. But this is a self-esteem program. Also very focused to the public schools and for the poor communities. The issue is you are not born to be poor. You dare to get your dreams. You can grow up. You have to go to the university and you have to believe in yourself, because maybe the one of the main problems that we have with our children when they are in poverty is that they think that they do not deserve anything and they do not believe in themselves. And from there, we have to work. You are a very powerful person, so you study, you get your dreams because you dare them. Centro Fox is in the community of San Cristobal, just an hour and a half from here. Our office of Vamos, Mexico, our main office is there in Centro Fox. Beautiful place, beautiful facility. We have an hacienda that has 400 years. It is full of history. We have now 50 rooms. It was the family home from the Fox's family. Vicente's grandfather was from Cincinnati, Ohio. He was American. He came to Mexico on the year 1885, and on the year 1912, he bought this hacienda. And since then, the family had been there until his mother died on the year 2006, and the family donated the hacienda to the foundation to be able to raise funds through the services that we keep as a hotel and restaurant. So it's not our property anymore. It is part of the endowment. It is a part of the projects that we use to raise funds. So it's a beautiful place. The people go and enjoy it, and also it's helping to all these children and this family that we really want and need to support. This is our mission in life. We are very happy doing what we do, and we hope to see you there very soon. Thank you for this great invitation, and believe me, I feel part of you. Next time, I'm going to use my phone. I promise I have. So thank you very much. Thanks.
And now we're going to introduce Dr. Sergio Lavoretta. He runs CRISMA here in San Miguel, and he's going to give us a presentation of what CRISMA is and does.
Wonderful.
First of all, thank you very for the invitation. Hi, everyone. How are you? Good morning. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the attention. Thank you, Mr. Marta, for the introduction. And we are going to see a small video of what we do here at San Miguel de Allende at CRISMA, and I hope you enjoy it. And then we're going to give a small presentation on what the attention model that we do, so you can know what all the help that we are doing here in San Miguel de Allende and all the regions. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a really recent video where you're going to see the new facility that we have. And after that, we're going to the presentation. Okay?
Let's see, we don't have sound. Let's see. Let's try again.
Acá arriba.
Yeah, that's okay. That one's okay. I don't know why.
Ahí está.
You're coming down now.
A lo mejor volver a escuchar porque lo probaste, ¿no es cierto?
Miguel, ¿sabes ir al sonido de Zoom o te ayudo? Oh, de la computadora.
Yeah, I
He
have
said he
it.
thinks it's the sound.
I have it on. I know, I'm not muted. No, I don't. I'll try again. I unmuted it one. Okay, we'll try one more time. You can hear I'm not muted.
Well, it's not going to work, and it's really visually, so you will enjoy it.
Let me try to fix this. I hate this.
Here we go. Can you do it from the beginning?
I can?
Well, that is the beginning.
Okay.
That's the very end.
What do you think? Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's more or less. ¿Se escucha bien?
Es que hay un eco.
Hace.
Now I can turn off the mic.
Okay.
I think that you can turn off the. ¿Listo?
Sí.
Ah, okay. Se escucha bien. Well, what do you think about the video?
Beautiful.
Beautiful video, right? Well, this I'm really happy to be here because I'm starting to remember. And about 5 years ago, I seated in front of you guys too. I think that it's not the same guest or the same Rotary, but 4 or 5 years ago, I was sitting in front of you, telling you that maybe in some small-term future we were about to build a new facility. And now, 5 years after, we are working on this new beautiful facility that you actually saw in the video, and we are helping. In those times, we're about to have 100 patients, children and adults, and now, 5 years ago, we are more than 300 patients receiving therapy every day. So let me show you a little bit about what CRISMA is. You saw this video, but I'm going to technically show you what we do and how we do. Okay? Well, let's do it. First of all, we have to remember our founders or leaders, Mrs. Marta Sahagun, that is actually with us, and President Vicente Fox. As Mrs. Marta said, they took the project in 2015, a project that was started by Lucha Maxwell, and when she couldn't take care of the patients, she gave the project to Fundación Vamos Mexico. When I arrived in 2016, we were about 40 patients, or 50 patients, the one that we were taking care, and we were in those places called Zamora Rios, near Telmex. So this was a house, a big house, that wasn't built to be a hospital, a rehabilitation center. So we tried to move the areas and to move the equipment so we can more or less look like a facility, but we had to do one step more. So in 2017, the local government donated 5 acres, 2,000 square meters, 2 hectares, for the construction of this new beautiful facility that we opened in 2019. And as Mrs. Marta said, we only worked, we went on vacation in December like everyone. And when we came back in January, we could only work 3 months. Restriction began, and CRISMA, you know, is not a prior medical attention facility, so we had to close it. And we had to do all the necessary documentation and capacitation for the teaching on the medical equipment that we had so we can open without presenting any risk on the population. Just to give you an example, we are, as Mrs. Marta said, we are one of the only facilities in Mexico that takes care of children and adults too. You may know some other great institutions that do work a lot for people, but sometimes they usually work on children, and some of those only work for adults. So CRISMA works from children about 3 months and children about 1,000 months. So we have all ages in the facility. So as you might say, we divided this great facility. I'm going to show you small pictures about how the facility is distributed. But the good thing and the only thing that CRISMA has is that the architecture is really how do you say ergonomic. So it's really easy for anyone to reach and to move inside, right? So it's technically made for the people to have easy access on it. So all the places are not like 30 meters one from another. So it's really, you know, sometimes we forget how difficult it is for a children with a wheelchair to move even 10 meters. So it's really easy for them to have an access, right? So can we have the next one, please? These are some pictures of the work that we do. The people that you're seeing there, they are really young. I'm not that young like them. And the good thing about CRISMA too is that we are not just a hospital. We are a university hospital. What does that mean? That we receive students from a lot of universities in Mexico to do their social service. In Mexico, after you spend your 4-year degree as a bachelor, you have to do 1 year of social service. So any institution that wants to receive students from universities had to have a really good attention model and need to be certificated in all the institutions. So just to give you an example, we are receiving students from a lot of universities in Mexico, and in this small term, we are receiving groups from universities from the United States. So we are certificated in Mexico and in the United States to provide this kind of services. So you can be sure that all the personnel that we have, the human resources, are really, really professional, and they have all master and bachelor degrees in rehabilitation, right? So, just to give you some example, in this state of Guanajuato, we have about 27,000 of people living with some disability. And in San Miguel de Allende and all the communities on the region around, we have about 2,300 children living with disability. What's the problem about disability here in Mexico, and we need to learn about it, is that sometimes we only think that disability means to not have one part of the body. And disability is way deeper than that. Disability can be a problem for learning, can be a problem with communication, can be a problem with movement, or even with having the correct neurological development. So we need to know how this works so we can diagnose these 2,300 children, and to help the people to recognize them, for them to reach us. Because sometimes we see in a small town, imagine, they see a children that has some different behavior than the other ones, and they do not know that this is a disability. The children is suffering as a disability. So that's why we need to reach a lot more places. I need to have more people that can maybe not diagnose them, but identifying people, children, and now with a disability. Well, the only 3.4% of the people that actually suffers a disability or lives with a disability has access to medical treatment. So the 96.6% of all the population does not have access to these services. Why? Because they are full or they are expensive. So the good thing about CRISMA is that we are not full and we are not expensive. So anyone can reach us, anyone can ask for our services, and you will see this is first-class services. It's an institution. We are committed to provide rehabilitation services to people with disability. We are prioritizing on the people that have few economical resources with a comprehensive health care model. That we are aiming to develop the human in all the aspects. We cannot only focus on the medical. We have to work in the socio-economical aspect too, and we have to develop the culture of disability and inclusion here in Mexico. So we are not only working in helping the people to move correctly or maybe walk if they cannot walk. We work. That's the main word that we have at CRISMA. CRISMA is Centro de Rehabilitación Integral, which means integral, of San Miguel de Allende. So we do not only take care of the physical disability, we work with the environment, the family, and sometimes we have to go to the small towns and talk a little bit about disability, so we can forge this inclusion culture in all the region. What we do is that we usually diagnose, treat, and try to reinsert them in the local community. I was just, when we were talking a few minutes ago, we do not usually diagnose. We are the second step after diagnosis, because if we have 30 medical doctors, because a medical doctor that can diagnose a disability is a neurology, neurologist, pediatrician, psychologist, psychiatrist, traumatologist. So we have a lot of medical doctors that can diagnose disability. So we better work with them outside that send patients to us. So they do the diagnosis, the prescription that they need rehabilitation services, and after that they come to us, okay? So we are only physical therapy and social real estate, okay? The mission is, I really, as a organizational development professional, I love to do the mission and vision, to improve the health and quality of life of people living with some disability, providing rehabilitation services with excellence and a deep humanitarian sense. That's how we work. We work, as Mrs. Marta said, we focus on the humanitarian sense. Sometimes we as a medical professional start to forget and we get involved in only the technical thing and we forget the humanitarian thing. or issues. So we have to work on both. We cannot work only with one or with the other. The vision that we have is to be a model institution regarding its comprehensive care model towards patients that live with some disability, recognized nationally and internationally. So we have a lot of work to do for its research and attention with excellent quality as well as the humanitarian sense. As you know, as you are seeing here, we have the future or sight in a small-term future and a medium-term future really high. We want to be recognized internationally, where we are on the road because we are actually receiving students from the United States and we got the recognition of the university. So we are in the correct path, right? We are dividing the services in areas. It's adults and children. Both of them do the same. What changes is how we do the things. You know, an adult with some disability is different than a children with disability. Why is that difference? Because the children usually are born with the disease. It's a prenatal disease that they acquire in the mother's belly, or it can be acquired in the first seconds of life due to a complication in the birth. So in the adults, has someone in here suffered an injury? A fall, a surgery, a complication of a chronic disease? Well, it's the difference between the children and the adults. Not all the adults have acquired diseases and not all the children have congenital diseases, but it's most common, right? So the adults are a sequel of a surgery, an accident, chronic disease complication, and the children are usually born with the disease. Cerebral palsy, hip luxation, have ischemia in the early birth, so it causes a chronic complication due to a disease, acquired disease. Okay, that's it. So the adult is for children about 18 years to as long as they can. But sometimes we have children about 14 years that go to us because they are really high, okay? And they are really heavy. So pediatric is the same. The main goal that we have is to make a person autonomous, right? So the main goal of our rehabilitation services is not, maybe some people cannot walk or will never, as cruel as it sounds, may not walk. But walking is not the only way to move from a place to another. So we have to technically be really objective and see what's the maximum potential of our patients, and that's how we need to work on them and teach them that the condition that they have is not bad. It's not bad for them. They were born with it, and the society needs to know how to include them. Okay, so that's how we work at CRISMA.
Problema, me faltó res.
There are some small pictures of the actual facility. Okay, it's just small results. Since we started working, we have been doing more than 30,000 physical therapy in pediatric. We have done about more than 22,000 adults, 100,000 psychology therapy, and 22,000 language therapy. As you know, the main services are rehabilitation, but we do have psychology and we do have language therapy. You know, some people, and it's common in adults and children, after an adult suffers a stroke or a brain stroke, sometimes they suffer some disability or sequel, particularly in the muscles of the face, so they need to know how to swallow again. They need to learn how to talk again. So it's for children and adults, okay? And this new beautiful CRISMA facility, you are welcome to visit anyone or any time that you want. We are in La Salida Celaya, but more exactly, have you heard Saluda Rodriguez?
Salida Querétaro.
Querétaro, sorry. But the more specific is the Salida Rodriguez, the Rodriguez exit. Have you heard about the Comune?
Where we had our vaccines.
And we all got them at the vaccines, yes. The
big
huge
center.
building, and ecology, and then CRISMA, okay? So this is the adult rehabilitation area. As I told you, we treat children and we treat adults. The adults area, due to the clinical condition, is more like a gymnasium, and the children is more like a kindergarten, because we do this therapy for the children, and we try to make it really dynamical and recreate it for children, okay? And the next one. The psychology area, a small area where you can be privately with the children or with the family, or not just the children. Sometimes the adult need a psychology service. We do not have a thanatologist that could be the correct physician to treat them, but the psychology works completely well. Okay. And the language therapy area, it's like a classroom too, but a bigger one, and it's for children and for adults too. And the jewel of the
That
crown.
is fantastic.
As Mrs. Marta said, the jewel of the crown, we have the biggest hydrotherapy tank in all Latin America. So this, the capacity of this hydrotherapy tank is about 20 patients per hour. So usually it's about 350,000 liters of water that we have. So it's huge hydrotherapy tank. And what's the difference? And you might say, okay, there are bigger pools here. No. Yeah, there are, but the difference between a hydrotherapy tank and a pool is that this water needs to be about 36 Celsius degrees. So imagine a huge sauna like this, and it helps a lot. It's a complementary therapy because once the water arrives to your hips, or covers the middle, half of your body, the gravity force stops. So the children that cannot walk correctly in the water, they can walk almost correctly. So you help the body to create memory on how they should walk. Imagine that, how do you learn to play football or volleyball or any sport, or any sport? Repeating. So imagine a children that hasn't never walked. How can they know how walking is? So we teach them there in the hydrotherapy tank. We force the memory of the body so they can know how is the walking movement. Okay? So, thank you very much.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Dr. Sergio. And Marta, anybody have any questions?
We have one question.
I have, yeah, I'll take it. I'm going to make a comment because there was a question online
Yes.
that addresses how is what Patronato Pro Ninos does different than what CRISMA does. And what everyone should understand is that CRISMA is the specialist to attend to all these children with the special needs. There's no way that every single little institution around town can really give them what they need. The facilities are specialized, they are incredible, and all of the children that had special needs were sent there for that therapy. So there is a great partnership between CRISMA and Patronato and many other institutions. The other thing I want to comment and make sure, because this whole invitation started by a conversation that was had one day that we were all visiting CRISMA, and the idea came up that all of the expat community should know what is it that CRISMA can offer all of us. And that is that if you need a therapy of any kind, this is the best place to get it. And by doing that, you're going to then be able to give back. Why? Because you're going to pay on a scale basis. So your small contribution will be big for some people that can pay zero. So you will actually make others be able to receive the therapy that they could not have, and you're going to benefit by going to the best facility with the best therapists and the best materials and tools and equipment. So I would suggest that we invite this whole group to a field trip one day over there, and that we can see the facility firsthand. That would be my inclination.
Great.
Okay?
Very
My
good.
pleasure.
Sounds like a good idea.
So it's kind of a follow-up question to that. As an individual, you encounter a family or a child who needs those type of services. We can't go directly to you. It has to go through another place where they get a diagnosis?
You can get the first contact with us, so we can suggest
Okay.
which medical doctor you can attend to. We can orientate the person to know what professional they can go with, because sometimes happens that the problem that we see is not a traumatology problem, it's a neurological problem, so they have to have the correct, we try to avoid one more visit to the medical doctor. We try to send them to the correct knowledge area so they can have the
That's good.
services.
Very good information.
Okay. Any other questions in the room? can't see everybody, but I think we're good. Anybody online have a question?
My question is online.
That's David.
Well, that would be David Bossman. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, the question online. By the way, very good presentation, Senora Martha and Doctor. I'd like to hear more about the specific services for elderly. What kinds of rehab work can you tell us in a very few minutes?
Okay, great. Well, the main services that we have for adults, not necessarily elderly, okay?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, it can be adults of from 80 years old. 18 years old, so as many as we can get, is the Mechanotherapy. Mechanotherapy means like a gymnasium, right? Sometimes it's the second part of the rehabilitation, the dynamical area, once they've passed the first step of rehabilitation, that is physical agents. Physical agents mean heat, cold, small bolts of electricity, ultrasound, infrared, so they can get, once the surgery or the accident happens, the first stage that we have to cover is reduce inflammation and activate the cicatrization, how do you say? The healing. Yeah. So after you have this step, then you go to the Mechanotherapy. And the complementary service that we have is Hydrotherapy. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Think so? Okay.
Okay.
Doctor, thank you very much. And Marta, thank you for being here as well. We appreciate you being here, and to show our appreciation, we have a certificate for you. Let's put it up on the big screen if we can.
I'm working on it,
Okay, Ron's working on it. Okay, well, I'll do a tap dance here and a little bit of a soft shoe, okay? But we will do a certificate for both of you. 10 polio vaccinations will be made in your honor, donated in your honor for your appearance here today, and we thank you for your time and very, very interesting presentation. So there it is, right there.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Suitable for framing. We'll make sure that we get it to you in an email. I think we have 2 of them. Yeah, we do.
One for Dr.
Okay.
Sergio.
Yep, we do. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for attending today's meeting, and have yourself a very, very good week, and we'll catch you next Tuesday.
Skip, can I add something here?
Sure.
There have been some inquiries about Rotary shirts like this. So if you're interested, see me and we will talk about the details.
All right, very good. Thanks, Tony.
I'll take a small in blue.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
I'm guessing the price.
Thank you, Carla.